Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of grammar. This week we have two things that we're learning. On Monday and Tuesday, we learned about proper nouns and we learned about capitalizing the proper noun no matter where it is in the sentence. We learned that months and days that they are proper nouns. Now what we're going to do is look at pronouns and especially reflexive pronouns. You will be able to, by Friday, identify singular and plural subject pronouns and their reflexive object pronoun. I will define singular and plural by Friday. That would be you. So, first off, we're going to look at what singular and plural is again from first grade. And then we're going to kind of review some subject pronouns, which you took a look at in first grade. And then I'm going to show you what the reflexive object pronoun is. Okay, pronouns. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or nouns in sentences. Some people call them nouns in disguise. They're words like she and her. So if you're talking about Betty in a sentence, you could replace it with she or her. So a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or nouns in a sentence. Now let's talk singular personal pronouns and a reflexive partner. First, let's look at the word singular. It means one. One, 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 one. Yes, singular means one thing, one anything, one cat. So if somebody says, is this noun singular or plural? If it's one object, one thing, one of anything, it would be singular. That cat right there is singular. Cat, one. Now let's look at the singular personal pronouns and their reflexive partners. Okay, your singular pronouns, which is one, is I. You're talking about one. You, one. He, one. She, one. It, one. Those are personal pronouns. And personal just simply means that they're taking the place of a person, okay, or an animal. They are personal people. Now, what a reflexive pronoun is it is in a sentence, you're talking about this yourself. So I and myself in a sentence are the same thing. You and yourself in a sentence are the same thing. You are the subject and yourself is the object that you're talking about. Now, this is really like, whoa, what is she talking about? When I use them in sentences, you'll see what I'm talking about. He, himself. She, herself. It, itself. Now, the way that I like to remember the reflexive pronoun is they always end in self when they're singular. Okay? So I, myself, you, yourself, he, himself, she, herself, it, itself. And remember that singular reflexive pronouns that are talking about one are always going to end in self. All right, I, myself, you, yourself. Do you remember this one? He, himself. What about this one? It, itself. She, herself. Those are your singular pronouns and their reflexive partner, which is an object. You have a subject and then you have the object in a sentence. I, myself, you, yourself. Let's see if you can do this one. He, himself, it, do you remember it? Itself, she, Do you remember? Herself. Okay, so on the left, you have the singular pronoun. On the right, you have the reflexive object pronoun that means the very same thing. The reflexive always ends in yourself. Okay, now here's what I'm saying in the sentence. I sometimes talk to myself. So what you're doing is you're saying you're the subject and the object that you're talking to is the same thing. It's you. But you can't say, I sometimes talk to I. So you go, I sometimes talk to myself. Do you see it? They're the very same person, but one is the subject and one is the object that you're talking to. So yes, you're you, but you're talking to yourself. You're I, and I'm talking to myself. Do you ever ask yourself a question? You being the subject, who are you asking a question to? Yourself, being the object that you're talking to. He asked himself a question. He being the subject, he's asking somebody something. Well, he's talking to himself. The object that he's talking to is actually himself. It refilled itself by magic. We don't know exactly what that is, but it is the subject. What is it doing? It's refilling. And who's it refilling? Itself. So do you notice? So it and itself. She made herself some tea. She and herself are the same person. But what it's doing is she is the subject. She's making something. Well, who's she making it for? The same person that she is, herself. And those are called personal pronouns, and they're reflexive object pronoun. And they always end when they're singular in self. All right, today what you've learned is that singular means what? Say it out loud. One object, one thing, one anything. Personal singular pronouns are I, you, he, she, and it. And the reflexive object partner will always end in self, such as myself, yourself, himself, herself, and itself. So thanks for listening to me today. Go on to your task, and I will talk to you at another time.